Peace, peace. What's poppin', my peoples? How does one become an alternative healthcare practitioner? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you become that? Like, where do you? Yeah, good question, right? Yeah. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sincere Seven coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, the Pad. Chilling with some dog. What's poppin'? Say peace to the Weebles. You feel me? So, look, man. We've been having some very dope conversations with some very dope people, right? And so somebody came through last night to the House of Genesis and we hung out. We talked about all the things we do at the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, assisting people with their spiritual, things. They when they trying to deal with, traumas and they way of life and they're having difficulties out here, having a, what is it we're looking for? The quality of life that they are intending to have is difficult because of the issues that they are having within their emotional and their spiritual and all of these different things, right? And so the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit is one of the places that people have been coming to for almost 20 years now, dealing with, mushrooms, ayahuasca, the cactus, chaga, DMT, all of these different types of things to deal with the navigating and exploring the conscious parts of the mind, different conscious parts of the mind, right? So that's what the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit is about. Then we got the House of Genesis, and some people get confused because they're not aware of the difference. The House of Genesis, for those who are not aware, is our healing house. This is where people come when they are dealing with struggles that physically, right? Medically, if you might want to say, they're dealing with struggles with their health, right? With their quality of life, of how they feel internally, their body, their mind, right? Things like that. So we didn't have to, but I wanted to separate them to keep the confusion down, because some people who were looking for assistance within their body with health things would hear the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit and look up psychonauts, or see the mushrooms or us talking about ayahuasca and be like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to heal my body, not my mind. And they were not understanding that we deal with both. So I thought it would be wise to separate them totally and completely. So that for individuals who are looking to deal with entheogens, psychedelics, onerogens, sleep work, all of this type of stuff, boom, they can come to the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit and they can deal with their mushroom journeys. They can deal with, going in on ayahuasca. For those who've seen me on National Geographic, that's what we was dealing with on that documentary, was the ayahuasca for people who had PTSD from non-military related issues. Because a lot of people think that PTSD is a soldier's disease. Like, this is, no, let me be very clear. Although I do know quite a few soldiers who I served with who, are dealing with or have dealt with PTSD, is not just a soldier's thing. There's people that live in their cities who have been shot, who have been stabbed, who have been attacked, who have went through some violent, house fires, right? I mean, just so many different things. Traumatic events bring about post-traumatic stress disorder, okay? And it's a disorder, not a disease. You might have heard me say that. They label it as one, mental health, different things like that. But it's more of a disorder. It's where things were at one point in order and in a order that was conducive for operating. And now some things get thrown off and they might be out of order. I might move to violence before I move to investigation, because in the military sense, sometimes that's what you're supposed to do. Shoot first, ask questions later. Your life is on the line. So when you are introduced to a life that changes how you operate and how you see things, and a trauma comes to you, which alters the mindset's ability to operate in a certain order. Because now your body's saying, no, no, no. Last time I went in that order, this happened. So I got to switch the order up and I got to do it a total different way. Right. And so it's a disorder. That's how I felt when I was going through it. I ain't got no disease. Ain't nothing wrong with me. It's just that I'm not operating the way that makes y'all comfortable. I'm operating in a different order. Right. But with all that being said, that comes from trauma, period. And people at home in their city suffer traumas. People in their own homes around their family suffer traumas. People at work at their 9 to 5 suffer traumas. So PTSD is not just a soldier's disease. All right. So with that being said, that's why we focused on that in that National Geographic documentary, was so that people could understand PTSD is from trauma. It's not just military, and there's ways to, you know what I'm saying, deal with it. There's ways to get rid of it. There's ways to bring yourself back to an order that matches societal order, right? Okay. And so that's the type of things that we do in the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. That's the shaman that people speak about, right? This is the shaman going in on substances that take you into different realms and dimensions and allows you to bring back information for your village. Everybody else got their own definitions. That's why I like when we talk to people and you say you something or I'm something or somebody, what is your definition of that? So that there's an understanding that from me, from my teachings, a shaman is an individual in the village who goes into altered states of consciousness and brings back information for the village. Everybody can go in and get their own information, but when you start going in and you start bringing back knowledge, wisdom, information, stories, answers, and all of this for other people in the community, it's like, oh, that's a different calling, right? So that's always been my understanding of what a shaman was from the time that I was labeled a shaman. It was like, wait, what the hell's a shaman, right? And I had to go and study and understand what these people were calling me and why they were referring me to that, right? So that's how that started. But when I'm not doing those works, my interests was in diet and nutrition. I was the chef of my community. So I served my community and taught them the science of food, the science of diet, the science of eating, and how this alters your body, right? So what happened was, as I'm doing both of these things simultaneously, individuals who are having these spiritual revelations and changing the ways that they do and approach life, they're coming back saying, but all of that time that I was doing that, it affected me this way. And now I have this going on in my body, or I have this disorder, I have this. And so how do I handle that? And so I'm giving them the answers to how to alter, right, the sicknesses, the illnesses, the stagnation, all of these different things. I always say that my greatness comes from my traumas. My traumas with my mother was from abandonment and feeling of lack of. And so one of the things that I thought I lacked was knowledge. I thought I was stupid. And that was why my mother didn't want me. And so it caused me to become a super type of scholar with that and some shit in my human design. But my point is that, so anytime people would ask me about something they're going through, I gotta have an answer. So I'd be like, give me 3 days. And I would just study all of whatever it is they dealing with, how to, you know what I'm saying? I would just study these things and then come back and get them answers to assist them in their walk. So the more I did this, the more I learned about the human body, the way the body works, the way that diseases work. It's just like, you know, the more you practice something, the greater you get. And every time somebody comes to me, I'm having to go study a new illness or a new symptom, right? So after all of this time, I started being known as a healer in the community. It wasn't something that I was like out one day like, you know what, I'm going to be a healer. I'm going to be a medicine man. Never said that. Never, no. That was never nothing that I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. But I always say that when you have a calling in your community will call you. You know what I'm saying? And you respond to your abilities. If you have the ability to do it, and somebody requests it, you have to respond to your ability. So therefore, it's your responsibility. So I just seen it as my responsibility, and I kept studying. And once I realized that I was that person in the community, then it was a certain amount of like, oh, I can't just not be right. Like, this is pretty deep, right? So when I realized, then I started really diving deep and trying to learn more ways to assist more people. So what this did was it put me on a 25-year journey of studying all of these different things, figuring out that some things is bullshit, some things is better than I thought, some systems are bullshit, some systems are flawless. And I just, so it's like after 20, 25 years, I have all of this knowledge. Now, here's what I'm coming from. The person last night asked me, they was like, yo, how did you learn all of this stuff? Because like I going through my own journey and I'm seeing that the Western, what they have to offer is not what I want. It's not how I want to do it. So she was like, so how did you get to where you are? And I started explaining all of this. And she said, and I don't know if it was her last night, somebody that was, because I've been having this conversation with a few people. Somebody said, man, it must suck to just be coming out like right now. Like she said, I've been doing this 25 years. She's saying she wants to start right now. That was her last night. And it was like, damn, this must suck because I'm going to have to go through all of these years to learn and do. And I was like, no, actually, I feel like individuals who are interested in becoming practitioners right now, 2020 and beyond, you all are in some of the greatest time frames because so much has been exposed. Back when I was like, that's what I'm saying. I took 20 years for me to learn that some of the stuff that we thought was fire is some bullshit. Some of the stuff that we thought was some of the greatest things to offer, yeah, it's mediocre. It can go in there, but it ain't all that. Like, yeah, you would include it. But right now, everybody who's coming out right now, what you all have is access to individuals in the information age who have been spending 20, 30, 40 years doing the works, doing the experiences, doing all the trying and error to learn, because I'm putting out books. I know that every healer that I know has books out. I've got classes and courses to teach the things that I've collected over 20-something years. When I was coming, you couldn't go to school to learn to be a snake venom practitioner. You couldn't do that. That wasn't something that you could sign up, pay a few, you know what I'm saying, dollars, and then go get trained, and then go and have a full set of different types of venoms, the knowledge and understanding of how to use them and approaching. And like you, that wasn't a class that you could take. You know what I'm saying? 10, 15, 20 years ago, you might have had to go to Peru to learn Kambo practitioner. You know what I'm saying? So the things now that we spent time in learning and doing the rites of passages and initiations to even get the permission to learn these things, now they've been learned, they've been accepted, they've been operated, and now they're being offered to where an individual can literally decide on what kingdom they want to deal with. You want to deal with the mineral kingdom, right? You're going to deal with your crystals and the jewels and the gems, deal with the Sheila Jit, you know what I'm saying, the coppers and the iron, and right? You want to deal with the plant kingdom. That's the dietitians. That's the herbalists, right? That's the ayahuasca rose. That's the plant. What you mean? That's the plant kingdom, right? So you can even deal with entheogenic practitioner work with the plant kingdom, right? So there's so many different avenues that a practitioner could come from the plant kingdom. Then you got the fungi kingdom. Now let's be 100. That's one of the newest kingdoms that you can operate from as a practitioner. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are just learning that there is 7 fungi for every single plant on this planet. There's 7 different types of fungi for every plant. So if we get 70% of our healing from the plant kingdom, right? If we get 70% of our healing from the plant kingdom, and fungi outnumbers plants 7-1, how much healing and potential is in the fungi kingdom? We know about lions, man. We got like the Big Ten. Let's be 100. I sell the tinctures. We got the powdered. We got the cordyceps. Ain't this beautiful? That cordyceps and blue lotus. Just mix them together and just sit them in a jar somewhere, just for visual purposes, right? But we know about like 10 fungi, like. And when I say we, I mean like community-wide. Like if we was to sit around, you know what I'm saying? The scholars, the people who know a little something, right? We kicking it, and then somebody talking about the neurological shit. We gonna be like, oh, you fuck with the lions, man? And the person be like, what? Yeah, you know about lions, man? So yeah, let me tell you about the lions, man. The deer, right? Oh, the immunity. Okay, you know about the reishi. You know what I'm saying? You know about the turkey tail. You know about the right. We know about 10. Average individuals know about 10 fungi, but fungi outnumbers plants 7-1. So think of the healing potential that's left uncharted in there. So this is going to be growing for years to come. Okay, that's why the boy Paul Stamets, if you ain't following him and you want to be in the fungi kingdom as a practitioner, I would advise you to find him and start following him. Right, so the fungi kingdom, or you can even deal with the psychedelic fungi. I started out in the community as a shaman in the fungi kingdom. That was the first kingdom I was working the plant kingdom because I was growing the cannabis. So I was doing the cannabis, so the plant kingdom was first, but I jumped into the fungi kingdom next. And I was serving my community mushrooms for about 10, 15 years, you know what I'm saying, before I started jumping into the other entheogens. So I came back around to the plant kingdom with the ayahuasca, you know what I'm saying, things like that. But are y'all following what I'm saying about the kingdom, yeah? So you could be a fungi kingdom practitioner in the healing or in the actual psychedelics. Boom, the next kingdom is the animal kingdom. A lot of us know about the bufo, the strongest entheogen on the planet. If y'all know one stronger, I invite y'all to let me know about it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty, I got a nice little resume in this kingdom. I mean, in this psychedelic realm, John. And I'm telling you, ain't nothing stronger than that bufo, right? But we dealing with Grand Rising, peace and good morning. We dealing with that animal kingdom. So we're going higher up and stronger and more powerful. That's why that bufo is one of the most powerful, you know what I'm saying? So you could be an animal kingdom practitioner in the psychedelic realm with the bufo, or in the healing kingdom with the Cambo, which is the frog, right? So for those who don't know about Cambo, there's a frog in the Amazon, right? And in these rainforests where everything wants to kill you, everything is competing for life, right? So this frog, it does not have a offense mechanism, but it has an excellent defense mechanism to where if anything tries to bite it, eat it, swallow it, anything like that, the secretion that comes off his back, it instantly reverses your digestive system, causes you to purge. It causes, my goodness, when you bite onto it, it's like it makes you vomit, it makes you sick, it makes your eyes water, it makes right. Just imagine an animal biting onto a frog, and all of a sudden he just let it go, and then you just seeing the animal over there for the next 15 minutes, like what the right? It's to make sure you ain't about to swallow me. But this the thing. If that animal had a poison or a bacteria or a virus or something like that, when it bit the frog, the secretion also neutralizes that virus or that bacteria or anything has my wife been biting me? All right, Charles, you might want to check, right? But it neutralizes whatever might have been tried to be injected into that frog, right? And so this is his defense. So not only did he get you up off of him, but anything that you tried to put up in him, he battled that off with the secretion too, right? So for thousands of years, these indigenous people of these lands have been taking a stick. You burn the stick, dab it on your skin, wipe that off, and it opens up a little, what we call gate, right? And then you take the secretion off of the stick and you hydrate it, and then you put it on that little burn that you got. So what that does is it allows this Phylomedusa bicolored tree frog secretion to now go into your lymphatic system, travels throughout your whole body, and then it's released into your bloodstream. Okay? Now, when you do that, it's not going to feel too good. You're going to start getting hot, and then your throat going to start swallowing, and then your eyes going to start feeling pressure, and then your nose going to start watering, and then your mouth going to start watering, and then your heart rate going to start beating a little faster to make sure the medicine move through your whole body, and then your stomach going to start. And then you might purge, and you're going to release, because it's a detox happening. It's a cleansing going on, right? You purge out, right? All of this old stagnant energy. Some people purge and they scream. They're not throwing up. They be like, ah! They just screaming. Ain't nothing coming out. The bucket dried in the motherfucker. But they, and it's like a spiritual purge, right? And so it's a major cleansing detox on the massive physical, mental, and spiritual level, right? Boom. So boom, after that, then your body kind of calmed down, and now it starts to absorb the rest of the medicine. Your little gate, it's gonna swell up. It's gonna be like it's saving, it's sucking it up, the medicine. You wipe that off, you seal it with dragon's blood. So you close it up now. So now it's sealed. Now what you just did was you went through a massive cleansing, right? And now you have the protection of the Cambo the way that it was protecting the frog. So now if you come into contact with bacteria, viruses, diseases, different things like that, this Cambo that's in your system now comes and starts to neutralize it, okay? So this is what we refer to as the rainforest vaccination, okay? So this is a plant medicine, animal kingdom medicine, right? But it's for detoxing and cleansing and protection. But then we also got the snake venom. Wait, what? So Cambo is 7.5% bioactive peptides. Snake venom is 90. Do y'all know what peptides are? I think a lot of like science class. All right. Amino acid, put a bunch of them together, it creates a peptide. Put a bunch of peptides together, that creates a protein. Wait, proteins, right. Our bodies are built up of amino acids, peptides, and proteins. Every single part of us, our hair, our skin, our blood, our nails, our teeth, whatever part of your body that you want to name is built with some type of protein. And that protein has a job, whether it's a muscle or it's an organ or it's blood or it's lymph, right? It has a job. And so the amino acids that build up the peptides, that build up the proteins, the amino acids are like the computer chips. They tell what the job is, when to turn on, when to turn off, when to switch up, when to stop, all of that. They the signals. So amino acids are the programming. They build up to peptides. Peptides are like parts of that. When they get with other parts, they build and create a protein. All right? So proteins are too big to pass through our skin. Remember I said we take this thing and you burn it and then you open the skin up? That's opening up the next layer, and that's where the permeability is, right? And so the top layer keeps everything out. It's waterproof. Now, ain't nothing getting through the top layer of skin, but if you burn yourself and then you wipe that away and you see that white part, that part is the part that can absorb shit, right? And so peptides can pass through the permeability of the skin. This is why we put different medicines on those gates, because it can pass through into the lymphatic system and be transferred to the bloodstream. So insulin is a peptide. There's different types, right? And so when you use these in these different ways, they tell the body to do stuff. Release sugar, uh, make the heart beat stronger, let that artery or vein loosen a little bit and open up. It's just signals. So snake venom is 90% amino acid and bioactive peptides. So when you put the snake venom onto your skin on those gates and it's absorbed in, it do all different type of stuff. There's about 22 amino acids that are important to our body, and our body can make about 9 or 10 of them. The rest of them we have to get from outside sources, mainly our diet. And if you think of the standard American diet, that's sad. The what? Standard American diet, that's sad. We're not getting the majority of those amino acids. So most people have amino acid deficiencies. That's not something that's a common term. Oh yeah, you got amino acid deficiency. You're not going to hear that, but that's what most of us have. So when you start to place all of these amino acids into your body and peptides into your bodies, it gives your bodies the amino acids to finish and complete these peptides and proteins, and all the systems start to turn back on. Okay, so that's generally the application of walking through an animal kingdom practitioner in the healing arts. Now, this is where we get into what I labeled the video, how to become a practitioner. In all of the years that I've been practicing, one of the things that I've always said, because it started when I was dealing with going and helping people in the spiritual realms, okay? And people will come to me and they will be like, are you Ifa? And I'd be like, no. And they'd be like, are you Yoruba? And I'd be like, no. And they'd be like, listen, I am an independent contractor. That's how I like to put it. I'm an independent contractor. Okay? What does that mean? That means that I do these works. I am not affiliated with any tradition or organized religion or spiritual groups. I'm an independent contractor, so I work with all of them. I've worked with some Ifas. I've worked with some Yoruba. I've worked with some of any of, and I'm not going to say all, but probably, no, I'm sure not all, but quite a bit of the different, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not a part of any. I don't need to be, okay? Spiritual works is intimate and it's custom. I just want that to be understood real quick. Because I be on some groups and different things sometimes, and I be listening to conversations, and people speak to people as if you're not tuned into spiritually what I'm tuned into, you're not really spiritual, and the things that you know and that you do and you practice are not real. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's what you was told to say. That's why I'm not part of any of those organizations or group, because they're telling you what spirituality is. You don't need to be told what spirituality is. No, you're not told what spirituality is. You experience it. That's why we always say, sit at the table with initiates and the conversations will be different. I'm going to say that again. Sit at the table with initiates and the conversations will be different. So, with that being said, when people are trying to become practitioners, what they are actually offered is a membership into a certain school of thought. This is what I mean when I say I'm an independent contractor. You don't have to practice herbs to be a healer. You ain't no healer if you ain't no herbologist. Wait a minute. That's an old thing to say. That's one kingdom, shorty. That's like me saying you ain't no healer if you ain't dealing with nothing in the animal kingdom. Well, that would mean every herbalist. And let's stop with this whole who's a healer and who's not. That's another thing. Healing, I'm going to say this again, is intimate and it's custom. It's like making love. What one person is going to heal from, another person can see as disgusting. Ugh, y'all using snake venom and letting bees sting you. Ugh, I'm about to do the chemotherapy. That's cool. Nobody should be dissing nobody because everybody needs something different. Let me be very clear. In my human design, it says, do not at any time use Western medicine. That means I'm not supposed to be using Advil, Tylenol, nothing. That's what my human design says. But hold on, me as a wise man who studies hermetic principles know for everything there's an equal and opposite to it. So that means that there is somebody whose human design will say, do not use alternative natural medicines. You need to use Western medicine. Wait, what? Right. A lot of people who alternative medicine go, wait a minute, what? Yes, I am not anti-Western medicine. Let me be very clear. I'm not anti-Western medicine. And you know why? I'm going to tell you why. I am anti-vaccine, though. I ain't gonna lie about that. But listen, let me tell you why I'm not anti-Western medicine. It's because the majority of the alternative health practitioners out here right now are not good at diagnosing. Wait, what? You don't know how to diagnose these people. You don't know how to tell them what's wrong. Now, a lot of us are excellent at handling the issue once you know what's wrong, once they told you what they say you have and what they feel like you need to do and what they tried to give you to address it. Come tell me everything they just told you that you got and that they trying to address. And I'm gonna go, oh, okay, all right, got you. All right. So look, here's what we gonna do. It ain't gonna be nothing what they say, but they the ones who told us what we was dealing with. Let's keep it 100. Okay? And so a lot of people don't know how to and let me also be clear that as practitioners, you're not supposed to diagnose. Because if you do, you're practicing medicine without a license. Oh my goodness, I'm going down a rabbit hole. I meant to talk about one thing, but I gotta talk about it. Dr. Sebi. Oh shit. Okay. Listen. I'm going to be doing a little series on let's clear up the misconceptions that Dr. Sebi has given a lot of you all in this community. Be mad at me all you want. I'm going to say this all the time. Stop me when I'm wrong, not when you mad or I hurt your feelings. If you can't show me where I'm wrong, don't stop me. Because I'm going to hurt some feelings. Don't stop me when I hurt your feelings because I'm talking about your boy, your teacher, No, I'm talking about knowledge, and nobody is over being corrected. Okay? Dr. Sebi was arrested, not this last time when they killed him, but the misconception of why when he went to court, what it was for. He was arrested for practicing medicine without a license in America. Let's be very clear. Because a lot of people are saying, oh, they arrested him because he cured AIDS and he had to bring somebody to show them. And look at go and research. Stop listening to what you hear, okay? And go on research, all right? He was arrested for practicing medicine without a license. When you say I can cure, boom, right then and there, you're practicing medicine. When you use the word disease or the actual disease is, such as cancer, if you say I can cure cancer with, and you name anything natural, you can be arrested and tried for practicing medicine without a license. Because the United States is a corporation, not a country. A lot of people are not familiar with that. Listen to some more if you can stand to. They might explain that part. But let's keep on track. The U.S. is a corporation. And so the words that the medical industry uses is trademarked, right? They own these words. So if you have a lot of cells that are abnormally growing at an abnormal rate of speed and they're overtaking other cells in your body, you need to address that. And you could do just that. But as soon as you call it cancer, and you're saying that to the person that you're assisting with their healing journey, you have just admitted to practicing medicine without law. I mean, without a license. It's the laws that they have in place. So as practitioners, the first thing that you need to know is how to not step into their lane. Don't say cure, don't say disease, don't name diseases, and don't say that you can blank, blank, blank any disease, or that you can cure blank, blank, blank anything. All of those words are theirs, and it's part of the medical industry. And so if you use them with a person on a healing journey, they can have you on a text message saying, oh man, we really like, I'm seeing your paperwork, we really killing this cancer, we really da. You use the word cancer. So if from there they say you're giving me things to address this, you are practicing medicine. You see what I'm talking about? If not, just get back with me, because it's all part of class. But again, so that's the first thing, is don't use their words. Stay away, learn everything that's theirs and stay away from it, right? So if I have a clothing line, I'm not going to say, just do it, y'all. It's dope. Buy it. It's cool. Like, wait, what? Well, ain't that, yep. Yes, it is. And I just fucked up. I don't have to even say the name of the company. You know what I'm saying? If I have we were talking about the other day, to all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, something on a sesame seed bun. If I have a burger company and I say those ingredients in that order, they're about to sue my ass. Same thing. But not only can you be sued, you can be arrested, because there's laws against practicing medicine without a license. So you're not just infringing on the company's words, but you're also breaking the law. Okay? So that's the first thing. Understand, don't be anti-Western, and don't be trying to mix in, because if you're an alternative healthcare practitioner, we're saying we are the alternative to what they give you and what they offer you. So if we're the alternative, I'm not going to give you what they give you. I'm not going to say what they say. I'm not going to use the words they use. I'm not going to even name what we're dealing with when you are on a healing journey with us. We're addressing something totally different. We know what they're addressing, but we are addressing something totally different, right? And what they're addressing, they're going to use their methods that they have to within, right? And we are addressing something totally different. We're addressing the entire body. We're addressing what brought this on, what caused it, what eliminates it, what helps the body, what strengthens the body, and what also within itself is here to eliminate damaging cells, right? Here to eliminate abnormal cells, here to kill off the things that are right. So you never have to use their language, right? Boom. So that's that part. Understanding that. Then I say that I would invite people to pick a kingdom to start with. What? Pick a kingdom to start with, because what I'm trying to do is give back the sovereignty to the practitioners. You can be a practitioner of whatever it is that moves you, right? And understand that every individual that you're going to come into contact with is not going to be your client. And it's all right to pass them on to who does. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of people that at a certain point, people will be dealing with something. And let's just say, I always fuck with the people who sell the sea moss and the elderberry. I always fuck with them. It's just easy, right? The elderberry and sea moss, right? You just came in, you're like, damn, they just told me that I have cancer. And they like, yo, you need the elderberry and the sea moss. Wait a minute, stop. Okay. Could that be something that down the line would be conducive for the immunity? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But is that like, are you one of the first people they need to see? No, not at all. No, you're not one of the first people they need to see. And that's what I mean. Like, we need to stay in our lane. as practitioners, it's okay if the individual that came to you is not your client. If don't try to give them, offer them, sell them, or produce for them the things that you do, and find a way to find your way into, well, yeah, I mean, you probably gonna need this. They are gonna need it, but it's not right now. You should not even be talking like, right? Oh, you need to talk to, I would say you need to talk to the your herbologist and your animal kingdom practitioner, flat out. You need to immediately, right? If you're dealing with your blood sugar issues, you need to talk to your dietitian first, and then your plant medicine, your herbologist, and then maybe your animal kingdom practitioner. You see where I'm coming from, right? If you broke your arm, you need to go and see them people at the hospital, because I told you I'm not anti-Western medicine. Yo, your arm broke. Like, if you want us to put your shit back into place and line it up and put some stents around it and like, we could do you some old school in the woods type of shit. If you just like, I'm not going to hop, yeah, but your shit gonna be fucked up, because we ain't even sure if we put it back where it was supposed to be, because we ain't got no X-ray machines. Come on, let's keep it 100. And if we just filling it in, then we might have been, you know what I'm saying, a quarter of an inch off or something like that, and your shit gonna heal with originalness, and your shit gonna be, and that's cool if you cool. But I would say, like, yo, if I break my shit, yo, I'm going to the hospital, son. Yo, homie, I'll see you when we get back to healing and all of this. This is injury. I don't deal with injuries. I deal with illnesses. See, it's a difference. We as practitioners need to stay in our lane. We need to know when to pass it on, right? So what I'm saying is, to become an alternative healthcare practitioner, I feel like we need to give the ability for practitioners to start practicing in the realms where they feel like they are conducive to the environment. Everybody feels like they got something to offer. And then when they get in there and they start to practice, and more people come to them, and they start to look more and start to investigate more and start to learn more, right? But now, again, you have it down to where you could literally plan out your 3 or 4 year journey into the practitioner you want it to be. Like 20 years ago, it wasn't like that. I couldn't say, yo, I want to master, you know what I'm saying, in practicing in the entheogenic realms with mushrooms, and minor in animal kingdom studies for 2 years, and then switch over and major in the animal kingdom. Wait, what the fuck? 20 years ago, they'd be like, yo, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? Now you could literally do that. You know what I'm saying? Sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but herbs will never hurt me. Charles is the in-house comedian. Fuck it. We're just gonna let him hang here because he's funny. Yo, but so therefore, you don't have to join a school or an organization or a line of study. You don't have to become a traditional Chinese. Like, if you want to do TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, you're doing acupuncture or herbology. 1 or 2 of them you jumping into real deep, and the other one you go minor in, right? It's kind of like, all right, was I interested in that? You might have been, but if not, and you just want to learn herbology, all right, well, cool, let me go over here. And then, so that's what I'm saying, is like, the ability to do and to become a practitioner seems to have always been connected with something larger, to where you have to do this, or you have to be this, or you have to do that, as opposed to picking the different things you want to do and learning them and building your practice around that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm really trying to do, is, one, bring back the sovereignty to becoming an alternative healthcare practitioner, right? Like, you don't have no obligations, but you're learning the human body, how it operates, what it does, how to affect these things, how to alter these things, because there's options and decisions and choices in the things that you use to do these things. It's not a one size fits all. And that's the thing that I feel like the majority of the educational platforms have been missing, is the giving it all to the students and letting them decide which one they want to go deeper into. Yeah, right. And so that's what we're doing. We're bringing more of a broad knowledge of all of these different things through a certain amount of time, because it's a lot to learn. But it's less than 20 years. Again, 2 to 5 years, you could be on any level you want with any of the medicines in any of the kingdoms. And you can know the levels of how to actually heal. Like, what do you mean? Well, what do you do? How do you start? How do you start? When somebody comes and they say, I'm going through the, and you say, okay, well, how do you start them on a journey? What do you start with? Right? Start them on a fast. Boom. Let's start their whole joint on a reset, because that's what a fast do. A 3-day fast on some just water is going to reset your whole shit. Look, a lot of people are like, wait, what do you mean? Yeah. No food, just water for 3 days. You know how many people think that they can't do that? That is an amazing thing to me. A lot of people have never done that in their life. Now, this is where the Christians, they be like, oh, I'm with you. I'm with the Christians. All the Christians be like, oh, that ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, I done did the 21 day, I done did the 7 day. Listen, the Christians got y'all fasting. Listen, let me tell y'all right now. A lot of y'all, they'll tear y'all asses up just if they talk about your ability to withstand from food or not. You know what I'm saying? They say, watch a man who can't control what he put in his mouth. That's a hell of a statement. So we start off with a 3-day fast. This starts your body on a reset anyway. And it starts your body to starting doing a lot of the things that we needed to do. Boom. After that, you go into your detox. Right? You go into your detox. After the fast, because now we done got a lot of the accumulation. We got your body not operating on the food that you've been shoving in 3 times a day, every day. This shit crazy, right? So we got you to fast. Boom. Now we get you right on the detox. Bam. Come in the detox, parasitic detox. You know what I'm saying? You can hit that colon, that gut, that liver. You can go through all of that. Boom. Of course, you got your binders going on, right? To bind to all of the die-off that's going on while you're doing these detoxes. Keep you from getting sick. But again, your body should be already at that point because we started with the fast. After we get the detox, keep in mind that when you do a detox, it strips your body, and not just negative, but the positive as well, right? So now you're dealing with deficiencies, period. Don't use it. We already dealing with deficiencies. We started out with the amino acid deficiencies, right? So we just fasted, then we just did a detox. The detox stripped your body of everything, positive and negative, right? We wanted the negative to be gone, but we needed the positive. So now we go into refortifying. We go into refortifying. This is the mineral kingdom. We go to refortifying these base minerals that we need in the body for all. There's a lot of people, no, I ain't gonna say a lot, excuse me. There are people who have had heart attacks because of magnesium deficiencies. Damn, wait a minute,
Hi,
what?
I'm Gemini.
Okay, magnesium deficiencies, right? So when you think about that, it's deficiencies of these minerals that stop the body from being able to do the things that it's supposed to do, right? Some things are important for the heart rate to be doing what it's supposed to do. Some things are important for the blood to be flowing. Some things are important for, you know what I'm saying, these different pumps, systems, the drainage, right? All of these different things. So the mineral kingdom is one of the most important. So once you flush yourself, you detox, and you got all of that out, now you refortify the things that are important, your iron, your phosphorus, your magnesium, your calcium, all of these jones, and you get your fortification down, right? It's like the cement before you build, right? The cement, right, up under the ground that you're going to build the house on. Minerals, right? The bones, the inside, the structures. Now that you've done that, now you can go into the plant kingdom. This is where you go see your dietitian, right? You should only be eating meals to heal. If you have a disease, an illness, an ailment, anything like that, you should be eating to heal. What other way to get the minerals besides sea moss? So, you got she legit. Good question, Aston Martin. Aston Martin. Aston Martin. That's what you did there. She legit is an excellent base mineral right? Where's my She Legit at? Right? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But you got your fulvic acids, you got your She Legit, right? You got your iron, your magnesium. Magnesium is best absorbed. Put that in the tub. Put that in the tub. Sit up in the tub, put a cup of that in there, and absorb that. What other ways to get the minerals? Yeah. So, and then like you said, that sea moss, that's also a good one. That's where that kick in. That's that mineral foundation, right? So your iron, all of this, right? And you want to do more of natural ways. If you could stay away from the supplementals, like, you know what I'm saying? She said that's so nasty. So for me, I used to even put it in the smoothies, you know what I'm saying? Put it in the smoothies, you know what I'm saying? You could put it in, you know, just different drinks or whatever, or just boom, bang it real quick and then eat something with it or drink something real, you know. But boom, you get your minerals on point. Once your minerals is on point, now the chemical reactions that's supposed to be happening in your body that need to take place, the foundations of all of those are there. Now, that's where you go into your diet, hands down, meals that heal for whatever disease or ailment that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what that means, holler at me, right? But you should be eating to support just that, right? And then you're dealing with your herbs, you're dealing with whatever your plant medicines, you know what I mean, that you're addressing, right? What you're dealing with. Then your fungi kingdom, right? Because if you're dealing with something neurological, then you're probably dealing with some lion's mane, which is going to get you a lot more and faster results than some of the neurotropic plants. Because remember, once you go up in the kingdom, the strength of these things gets stronger because of the next kingdom. It has a different expression, and the expressions are always more powerful as you move up, right? So once you go into the fungi kingdom, if you're dealing with the brain, neurotropics, lion's mane. If you're dealing with the immunity, right? It's a lot of them that are already known, but there's a lot more that are not known and have not been put out here on public display. That if you are a fungi kingdom practitioner, it's shit for you out here, right? And so, and you all have some of the greatest room for growth because you can come out with a new John like every 6 months, real 100 talk, because all of the research that they're doing in all of these labs, you have access to right now. You just have to go get it. So if you got a team of investigators or you yourself are willing to fund that investigating, I had to go through all of that within the plant kingdom with the snakes and the venoms and all of these different things. So, but if you pay all of these institutions, they'll give you the findings. They'll give you, so you could, you know what I'm saying, be coming out with a different fungi that you healing with and that your, if that's your specialty. Now remember, pick one and specialize in that. Go and study that, but also cross-train. As you spend time as a practitioner, you want to cross-train. You want, you know what I'm saying? Once you get that one kingdom down like a motherfucker to the point where you know your shit, like if anybody sit down and start talking about that kingdom, you going, oh shit, hell yeah. Oh, they talk about snake venom? Oh shit, they don't even know. I'm doing, okay, yeah. The way I do it when I talk about animal shit, right? I'm like, oh shit, I can't wait to, right? Once you get that down, go start learning the other kingdoms. Yeah. You only gonna be passing your clients to somebody else until you learn the shit that you passing them to, right? So if I'm passing my clients to the people, I'm gonna say, hey, go see Mama Tashima. Yeah, go see Mashi. Go see the Goddess Herb Shack. Go see what's the sister in Carolina, Tasayo. You know what I'm saying? Go to her veggie place and get the meals that heal. Like, cause when you sick, listen, these people who own these vegetarian and vegan restaurants, you want to talk to them like you want to talk to your herbologist. Get you a dietitian or a nutritional specialist on your team if you're dealing with some type of, you know what I mean? But if you already got this kingdom down, go start learning under their kingdom. South Carolina, where? Tell them inbox you, I get the info for them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Oh man, who else out here? More herb up on 7 Mile. You know what I'm saying? They got some nice stuff in there, right? And it's not just the stores. Let me be very clear. The stores are there because after you get a consultation with the people and they tell you need this, you need this, you need this, right? Then they like, well, yeah, I got half of that out here, right? That shit, that's just, it's the consultation. Go to these places and ask the people for a consultation. Tell them what you're going through, what you have, and ask them, what do you think about that? And what can you do? How can you assist me with that? And you listen to them, and you have to have the ear of discernment. If you don't, you come get somebody else who does, to like, you listen. Because I'm not saying that everywhere you go, everybody is really like they can solve all your problems. Like I have not watched a lot of these people practice. I'm saying these people practice, and these people have levels of knowledge that I know that they have. Now, on what illnesses, ailments, diseases, that's for them to tell you. Just like when people come get consultations from me, people like, yo, you know anything about it? I'm like, hell yeah, really? Yeah. Well, what about this? Now that I kind of got more things that where others are like, yeah, I don't know, like herbs ain't doing a whole lot in the neurological areas where that venom's like, you know what I'm saying? It's some things that a lot of people will deal with that I'm like, nah, not so much. But a lot of things that other people are like, nah, we ain't got nothing for that. I'm like, yeah, we got something for that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's room for everybody. And if you specialize in your kingdom and you stay in your lane of expertise and you just continue to practice, they'll keep sending people to you. I'm gonna tell you another thing is because I'm gonna say all the things that the chick thought was crazy that I was saying to her. Be willing to tell your peoples, I don't know what the fuck you just said. When they tell you I got facilioluculitis, I look them dead in the face and be like, I don't know what the hell it is. I ain't never heard of that. Can you write that down for me and give me 3 days? That's what I tell my peoples. Like shit, some of the best testimonials that I have right now, it started with me telling them I have no idea what that is. Right? And then I tell them, give me 72 hours. A lot of practitioners and doctors and stuff, when you come to them and you saying and they looking stuff up, and they when they say we'll be back, they looking in their books, they trying to figure out like, wait, this one here, I'm just shit. And then when they read, like, wait, what the fuck? I've never heard of this. And then they go and start studying. Like, I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but like, don't let the people who just be talking from the sidelines who ain't never built nothing discourage y'all. Okay, so as practitioners, we should be okay with telling our clients, I've never heard of that. Give me 3 days and then going and finding out. There's nothing wrong with, I'm not going to act like I know everything. What did they say you have? Oh, okay, yeah. Did they tell you about that? Yeah, they said it was, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. No, we not about to do that. No, I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of that before. Hold on, let me look that up. Okay, yeah, give me 3 days and I'm gonna get back with you. Now, in 3 days, when we get back together, I'm either going to be like, yo, so I looked that up, I studied that, and I'm gonna tell you, like, that's outside of my scope of things. Now, I do think that you should go talk to this person though. Or I'm gonna say, yo, I had no idea what that shit was. I went and looked it up, and I get it now. The name is like crazy, but basically it's this. And so the way that works is this, that, and the other. See, because this part of the body does this, that, and the other. And so when this happened or this happened, it makes this do this. And so what they are trying to do is give you something that's going to do this, that, and the other. But what we would do is we would first stop this by this. And then we're going to come and start using this because this is going to do this. And once this happens, this is going to start doing this because this is connecting. It's like, and after about 3 more weeks of that, you know what I'm saying? I don't think you had no more issues. But you know what I'm saying? So that's what we would do. So what you want to do. We educate you. This is the alternative healthcare. You care about your health, something's going on, and what they told you you're not comfortable with, and you want to know your alternatives. There's not one alternative. So as practitioners, you need to have knowledge at the foundation of anything you do. You know, we got more of in here than anything, knowledge. There's not a whole lot of shit to buy in here, right? When I think about it, like, Yeah, like people come and when they get their consultation, we tell them what they need to go and get, right? There's not a whole lot here that we provide outside of the animal venoms and the tinctures, the mushrooms and all of that, and then the psychedelics and all of that, right? So the healing journey is custom and intimate. Again, see, I keep going back to that. It's intimate and it's custom. It's going to be designed just for you based off what you feel comfortable doing, right? And so, just those some of the things that I just wanted to throw out there. So we do have a practitioner introduction to practitioners training class, right? For those interested in actually learning how to heal with the kingdoms, where we teach the 5 different kingdoms, we teach the 7 levels of healing, we teach how to become a practitioner, how to set up your practice, how to do business, like really just like because being a practitioner is more than being a administrator or a facilitator or herbologist or anything like that. It's about actually practice, like having an actual practice, like a place where people come and they see you, and these are your clients, and you fulfill their needs, right? And we are giving the basis and the foundation for the practitioners of tomorrow to be able to start today, right? And to start in the lanes where they choose and where they find comfortable. And so these are just some of the principles and the things that we talk about. I just want to get in here, kick it a little bit, talk a little deeper about it. So I appreciate y'all for kicking it, you know what I'm saying, tapping in, tuning in. If y'all want to learn more, go to www.venompractitioner.org, right? There's courses on there. You want to learn bee venom. You want to learn Cambo. You want to learn to become a snake venom practitioner. Or you want to learn how to become a practitioner and you need that foundation. Because all of those things that I just named are more like tools in the tool belt of a practitioner, right? If you have the desire to become an alternative healthcare practitioner and to be a healer in your community, you need the foundations of healing before you need the tools. It's kind of like martial arts. You need to learn to fight before you start using swords and nunchucks and sais and all this other dope shit, okay? And so I invite you to tap into our practitioner introduction class and learn how to become a practitioner, and then go ahead and start getting some cool tools under your tool belt. But that's just the invite. You do it however you want. You understand? We've set it up where it's all your choice. It's all your sovereign in your road. And that's what we believe in. But so if y'all want to know more, check it out. Other than that, I'll be back. And if you need me, holla at me, inbox me, email me, and we can answer some of those questions. But for real, most of the answers on www.venompractitioner.org. Organization, not commercial. They just want to sell you stuff. This is an organization. All right? Yo, love y'all. Tell somebody you love them in the language they can understand it in. Peace.